when I'm like, bitch, whoa, you must not know who I am, I'm the...
Hey, what is up guys, Fat Rat here, and today I'm here with the Kamiyada interview. So I just wanted to let you guys know, as I want every single video, you can now watch this on Soundcloud and on YouTube. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. So, just to start this off, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Shit. I'm like from the Maryland, DC area, born Andrews Air Force Base, like military family. Family is like Panamanian, they like speak Spanish. It's like Spanish mixed with like Jamaicans, but I don't really speak any Spanish. And I'm the creator of the Midnight Society, and I started that like early last year. And yeah, I mean, we make hard ass music, and I mean we are who we are now. I guess that's cool. Oh, and I'm 21 years of age. And what else can I add? Yeah, that's really all I can think of right now. But yeah, I'm Kamiyada. Yeah.
So, how did you get into music?
Basically, like growing up, it was weird because like my parents, they only listened to either reggae or like salsa, like Hispanic music and stuff like that. So, I'm like still to this day, like I barely understand Spanish. Like, I mean, I know bits and pieces. But, the only thing I could like remotely understand was like reggae and like patois. So that was really all I could get into, deeply. So I just started out listening to reggae, and I like decided at a young age I wanted to be like a reggae artist. But then I started listening to like more music, and I got into hip hop, and then it was weird. Like I had like some weird transitions. Like it went from hip hop and then to like classic rock and like grunge rock and like indie and shit like that. And I wanted to start a band. Like I got heavy into grunge rock like around high school. And then my guitar broke because I had like an electric guitar, like a little Fender Stratocaster. And I just used to like fucking record on that shit and just record it in memos. Like really like low quality memos on like old ass Android phones and shit. And then my guitar broke, so I was like, shit, I need to do something. Like, I just had all these ideas, and I was like, shit, let me get back into rapping. And then I like got back into hip hop, and I was like one of those like J. Cole dudes. Like, I mean, I wasn't into J. Cole, but I was like, you're like typical like hip hop fan right now. Like, bring back real hip hop. Like, I was like, fuck Drake, fuck everybody. Like I was one of those guys for a second, and then like it got weird because none of my friends wanted to listen to that shit in the car. Like they wanted to listen to trap. So eventually I had no choice but to get into trap. Then I heard like a Spooky Black song. Like I was on the Earl Sweatshirt fan page, and they like linked Spooky Black, and I listened to him, and then I kept listening to him deeply, like him, Bobby Raps, Allen Kingdom, all of them, and then like Bones in them. Because I was like uploading to SoundCloud like 2 years ago, and I would upload, but I was doing like boom bap shit, kind of like some Joey Badass Pro era shit, because I was heavy into like Joey Badass and like Earl Sweatshirt at the time. And then I heard Spooky Black, and then I heard Bones, and I was like, bro, like this dude goes so hard, like this is some crazy music, like I had never heard anything like it. So like that kind of influenced me to switch my style up until I like found my own sound. Cause I started off as one of those dudes that was just like, copy Bones, like not like heavy copy. Like I wasn't trying to do like any crazy shit, but I was deep in that aesthetic. And that's how a lot of these like younger artists start out. I realized, you like get influenced by somebody, and you don't start off as original as you like a lot of times, but eventually you find your own sound and you do your own thing. But yeah, that's kind of like how I got to where I am now. Like I just kept doing things, and then eventually I just made up my mind and was like, I love rock music so much, and I love trap music as well. and I want to merge the two together. Like I'm into dark shit. Like I'm into the more like you know, I love horror movies. I love movies in general, and I love like darker shit. So I was like, let me try to merge that into my music and tell some like cool ass stories. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
So, where did you get the name Kamiyada from?
All right, so that's weird. So I started off as like Motive. Like that was my rap name when I was doing boom bap. And like one day I was literally at work back when I like worked for this fucking company called Blackboard. Like they do like college stuff for college students and stuff like that. And I was doing like tech stuff. But yeah, I'm at work and I hated that job. So like I was always like daydreaming or like on YouTube or some shit, like just listening to music. And randomly, like I swear, like I tell people to this day, like the universe itself had to give me this name. Like the name Kamiyada like randomly popped up in my head. Like I lied to you not. So I was like, that's weird. Like I was just daydreaming and it popped up in my head. So I like Googled it, nothing came up. And then I Googled Kami and then I Googled Yada separately. And Kami is God in Japanese. And it's like God and to be known. And then I think Yada was in Hebrew is to be spiritual. So together it's like to be spiritually known or like, a form of a god. So I was like, yeah, that's like some really crazy shit. So I'm gonna stick with that. And I just came back and told my friends, I was like, I'm not Motive anymore. Like it's Kami now. Like it's Kamiyada. And it's stuck. Like it's really dope. I mean, it's weird now because nobody had that name. And I don't really know how authentic this is to say. But there's like some, I think she's like Japanese or Chinese. There's some lady that like, she's a florist and her company is called Kamiyada. It's like some kind of, it's spelled exactly the same way as mine. But I'm 100% sure that company did not exist when I created like Kamiyada as a name. And she hasn't gotten it copyrighted. And I mean, even if she does, I added the plus to my name. And also, fun fact for the plus, anybody that wants to know what that means, it's just like elevation, like, positivity. Like, as dark as my music is, like, that's the whole, like, point of the plus. Like, plus gang, going upward, progression. So, yeah, it's Kamiyada plus now. Also, fun fact, people keep calling me Kamiyada Mayonaka. That was, like, my name a long time ago because it was, like, midnight in Japanese. And I was, like, really cringy for a little bit with this like whole Japanese aesthetic shit, but that's not my name anymore. So people can also like stop calling me that. It's just Kamiyada plus. That's it.
So how did the the nickname Space God kind of come into it?
All right, so it's like with me and my friends, like we kind of it's like weird. Like we kind of have this thing where like back when I was Motive, mostly like my friends, like they were called like they called themselves like the Renegades. Like none of them really rapped. We just freestyle and shit. And I was the only one that like really like legitimately rapped in the group. Like besides that, we just get high and freestyle. And we just called ourselves like Renegades. And I almost like ran with that. But none of them were like musically inclined. So I was like, it's kind of no point. But like I got my homie like Nova, and he was on that space shit too. But then like I realized once I started looking deeper into Kami and like the whole Shinto religion, like all the stuff behind that, like a lot of them are like heavy, like there's like gods. They like reside. There's like a Kami for everything in that religion. Like they have Kamis for roads, for grass, like for crazy shit. Like inanimate objects could be gods in that religion, sort of. So basically, like the whole thing was like I knew that the highest beings were always like the ones that resided in space because they're like creators, and that's how I felt. Like I wanted something that was my own, and that was also like the basis behind Midnight. Like that's why I branched away from like that whole like renegade RNGD shit that me and my friends were on. And before I even had anybody in Midnight, I was just like, I'm gonna have this be my own. I'm gonna be a creator or something. And to be a god, it's like it's a cool feeling to like feel that way. To like, gods have power, so it's cool to feel like you have power. You have leverage over certain things, and that was kind of like where the whole space thing came in. Like, plus I have like a fascination with space as a whole. Like, space is like one of the scariest slash coolest concepts in existence. Like, the shit is wild. Like, I don't think we'll ever in the lifetime of like fucking humanity ever understand space fully, and that's the craziest thing about it. And like, I just had a big fascination with it, so I just started implementing it into my music and made that a part of my aesthetic, like the whole space thing, the space age shit, and the ad libs, everything. So after a while, I was just like, that's how I feel, like the overlord, like the space god. And now it's just Space God Kamiyada.
So, how did Midnight Society come into play? Like, how did you get the group of people that you have now?
So it's a crazy story, like this kind of shit. Like I probably sound like a huge hippie right now, but it was kind of like on some really wild divine intervention, destiny type shit. Like basically, so it started with me and Liam. Liam, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the virus and the antidote. And like I think like when I first changed my name to Kamiyada, I dropped this track called Who the Fuck is Kami. That was like the first track I ever dropped under the name Kamiyada. And it's still on my Bandcamp. Like I have these really old albums. Like I have one album from when I did Boom Bap, and then another album from when I switched my style up to Kamiyada. And I made that track, and of course I like no air quote clout. I didn't have any clout tokens to my name. So randomly he found me, and that was back when his name was LAB Beats. It was like Liam Airy Beats. He had like a terrible name. So he messaged me. It was like, yo, can I remix this? And like from then on, he would just remix my tracks. And I thought it was the coolest shit ever, because like no producer ever messaged me about shit. And he did like really good remixes for like the time. So I just remember like for a while he would just always remix my stuff, and it's kind of like we grew together. Like we were getting better at music, together. Like we were experiencing shit and fooling around with shit music wise, until we got to a certain point, like where we were really finding ourselves as artists. And I just remember one day he was like, you're never gonna believe it, but I'm producing for somebody that we both love. Cause this was back when we were like huge Bones fans. Like I'm still a fan of Bones, but like that was back when like I was just like, damn, like this dude is the truth, like forever. So he produced for Bones, and when he produced for Bones, he produced Rest in Peace. And when he did that, because we were already making these dark screamo traps, like, and shit. Like that's another thing people don't really realize. Because around that same time is when Liam and I, like, we came into contact with Triple X. And that was before Triple X had like, anything. He had like, I think like 3,000 followers on SoundCloud. And he asked for, and like as this was happening, as all this is like coming together, like right when Bones dropped Rest in Peace, like we got a bunch of traffic, and I was like, I think this is the perfect time to like really like build on Midnight. I was like, I'm gonna like make this shit, we're gonna build on it. And the thing is, like, the whole name, it's wild. I had this track called Tales of a Renegade. This was like the last time I held on to like that whole renegade moniker thing. And I took from that show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? There was an episode called Tale of the Renegade Virus. And I used that as the intro, because I used to be really intro heavy on my songs. I'd find like weird ass intros to like add ambience to the song and shit. And that's where we got the Midnight Society tag that we still use to this very day. Like, they're like in the show, they'll be at this campfire, and before, it was kind of like a more darker version of like Goosebumps, because I think Goosebumps was like more it was more popular in the 90s, and then like Are You Afraid of the Dark was like secondary to that. But yeah, like the kids be at a campfire. It was always some crazy story, and then like before it got into the episode, he'll be like, taken as a submission for the Midnight Society, and he'll throw the dust into the fire, and then like the fucking letters for the episode will like pop up on the screen. And I took that part and I used it for the beginning, and I was like, yo, this will be perfect for like Midnight Society. So I was like, yeah, we should use that as a name. And then that's also where Liam got the name The Virus from, because he also in that very same episode he says, he's like, he starts talking about a virus because like a computer virus is like taking over people's minds or something. So he used that for the virus tag. Liam changed his name to The Virus. He produces Rest in Peace for Bones. We get hella traffic, and then I started looking for artists. Like, I wasn't even looking for artists that had like clout or anything, like big artists or nothing, no shit like that. Like, I just wanted people that I knew had potential to like, build. So like, I think the first artist we added was Kel Illuminati, and then from there was like Skrilla. Like, I just started asking people. I was like, yo, want to join Midnight? Like, I just started this collective, et cetera, et cetera. Some people say no, some people say yes. And it's funny because to this day, like randomly, people that I messaged back then and asked to join that said no or just ignored me will message me like now and be like, yo, can I still join? And I'll be like, fuck no, like hell no, like you should have joined when you had the chance. So yeah, that's kind of how that came together. So we started building upon like this whole aesthetic, this whole dark, ambient thing that we had going, and that's how things like really started pushing as far as like this whole trap metal scene. Like, because you got like Suicide Boys, you got Bones, you got Chris Travis, Xavier Wolf, and they're not really. I mean, Bones kind of, with that tape that he dropped Rest in Peace with, that was like some certain trap metal stuff. Bones was still doing like screaming shit. But I feel like this genre is like really like we're at the forefront of this shit. Like the main artists in this genre are like, Midnight, Triple X, and then other artists that do that yelling shit. But like not even just like the kids that are just doing that shit because they're like huge X fans or nothing. Like people that just generally like have love for, metal and feel the need to like merge it together. Like that's basically what this was. Like you can separate like the real from the fakes when it comes to this genre. Like metal trap is popular now, and you can tell who's like really about this shit, like who's really influenced by like heavy metal, like who's really doing this shit for a reason, and then who's just doing it because it's the wave right now. So like that's kind of just how we like built upon everything. And as I went along, people came, people went, but we were able to build upon it and we gained traction because like we started at the forefront. Like when we started, it was like us and X were like the only artists I can really think of that were really like pushing this metal trap shit far. Like really like, trying to bring this shit out there. And I think that's why we were able to gain traction so quickly because, nobody else was really doing it at the time. But yeah, that's kind of how Midnight came together.
So, how would you describe the kind of style of music that Midnight Society as a whole kind of makes?
We make murder music. Like no, for real. We make like it's just dark. Like we have this. This is what separates us. Like I notice a lot of times, like coming up. Like I'm not fucking huge or anything. Like I made it far within the year. I mean, I could say that faithfully, but like as far as coming up, like for example, mainly I get this. First, I was like, I feel like I was the only one that was really like getting this phrase or whatever thrown at them. But like as it was coming up, like I feel like people that are like heavy X fans and don't really listen to anything outside of him will be the ones that'll be like, you guys are copying X, or you guys sound just like Triple X, or like stuff like that. but like people that actually take time to listen to both sides can actually tell the difference and appreciate the music. Like we had our run-ins with him and our disagreements with, you know, Mo and Midnight or whatever, and it is what it is. But like, you know, they're still talented, you know, artists, and they make good music. And the thing is, but you know, each side has their own distinct sound. And I feel like with Midnight, we have this whole Midnight makes like what I like to call movie score music. Like I feel like other trap metal artists, because trap metal is growing like big. Like there's a lot of trap metal artists out there now. But as far as that goes, I feel like us, what sets us apart from others is like we take time as far as like adding the ambience to the music itself. Like it sounds like some shit you could hear in a movie trailer, or you know, like even without the lyrics, like the instrumentals sound like some movie worthy shit. Like I mean, I made some shit that caters to like the turn up crowd that people just want to get lit. And I mean, I'm the same. Like I like getting lit. Like I like turning up. That's just fun. But you know, when it comes to the serious shit, when I'm like really getting down to like the gritty shit, I take my inspiration from movies because I really love movies. Like I watch a lot of movies, and the way I structure like my music, for example, I don't really go heavy on metaphors. I go more so on the storytelling. So like when I rap or you know record, it's more so like me telling you how I feel with imagery as opposed to just throwing a handful of metaphors into a verse. And I feel like that's a lot of what we do. Like, you know, as far as like rappers, like now we have like Fuck It, Zodiac, you know, those are like the newer members that are at the forefront right now for Midnight. But like, you know, Original God, you know, everybody, you know, we got like Bambi. Bambi makes like, you know, heavy turn up shit. Like we've diversified the lineup since we started. But like from the core when we first started, like when we were making them heavy Midnight tracks and it was just like me, Skrilla, and Kel, like a lot of that was some really like movie score type shit. Like there's like a dark, gritty core that goes into it. Like it's deeper than just like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna like turn up, I'm gonna hit him with the blade, like some shit. Like no, like it's deeper than that. And I feel like we're more serious than other trap metal artists. Like not taken away from anybody, but like I feel like other trap metal artists are more wild, turn up, and then we're more like wild but like serious. Like we start talking about some deep shit, like some crazy shit, and like a lot of personal shit that's going on in our music. So I feel like that's what sets us apart, and that's the kind of sound we have.
So, kind of off topic, but what would you say your favorite films are?
All right, so I like horror movies. Weird, like I'd say like modern day. It's kind of like now. I remember when I first saw Insidious. That was the first like horror movie. Well, I saw in theaters to be exact. That was the first horror movie that like legitimately scared me. But then when I like kept watching it, it kind of got dumb. But I guess I'd throw that up there as far as like horror movies. Like it was well done. I also like really like mind bending movies. Like Donnie Darko is great. Pulp Fiction is dope. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is probably like the best romance movie in the existence of anything. What else? Saving Private Ryan was great. Interstellar, I can't remember the director of that movie. He makes such great movies. Like that dude is a genius. Like Interstellar was a masterpiece. Like I love that movie. Like that's probably the best space movie I've ever seen. Like The Martian was cool, but Interstellar was like on a whole new level. Like after I watched that movie, I felt like I had to like rethink my life, like my entire existence. Like that shit was just crazy. But that's dope. I know I'm forgetting other movies. There's some other shit. I also like indie movies. Like I like those like indie movies that are like bittersweet or like coming of age movies. Like I remember when I was younger, like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist was like the shit to me. Like I thought that whole movie was like possible. Like I felt like I was like, damn, that life seems lit. Like I want to experience that. Not realizing how unrealistic it was at the time, but I feel like it was possible. But there's that. Django Unchained was a great motion picture. What else? What else? What else? I'm trying to think of my like serious movies that I love that I like can't think of right now. What we got? Donnie Darko. I can't think of more right now, but yeah, mainly those were great. Something will come to me later, but yeah, like really, I like really trippy movies that make you think. Also, Black Mirror. Like I don't know, I know a lot of people have been getting into that, but that's probably like it's like a modern day Twilight Zone. If I don't know, whoever listens to this, if you haven't seen Black Mirror, feel like mostly a lot of people have, but that was a great fucking series. Like I hope they make more. Like it was really dope. Like they really took the old school Twilight Zone and brought it to modern day, and they did it right. Like that shit was fire. But yeah, pretty much.
Are there any particular themes you like to rap about in your music?
As far as like particular themes, I'd say like I don't know. I feel like music for me, as far as when I rap and when I write, is like really therapeutic. Cause a lot of times when I write, I'm stressed. Like for example, a perfect example of that would be like my song Restraints. When I made that song, I was like super stressed and like super angry. And I feel it's one of my favorite songs I've ever made because it's one of the only songs that I feel like I actually was able to 100% get the point across as far as how I was feeling or how I've like ever felt, in a song like that. Like I 100% got my point across. Like I touched on every problem, every issue, like mental illness, whatever, like any kind of shit that I was dealing with. And as far as that goes, it's just like I like I don't know, it's either I feel like it's split for me like mentally, like either I'm in a mood where I'm like, hey, turn up, and I make like some turn up shit, like it's just like whatever, it's lit, or I'm angry at the world and I'm just like I'm really putting my energy, like that anger, into a song, or I'm like hella narcissistic and I'm just like, I feel like I'm better than everybody. Like I feel like I just make a song that I want to get the point across that I'm challenging everyone around me. And I tell like everybody, like Zodi, fuck it, mainly them. Those are like the two artists that I feel are like my main competition when it comes to like lyricism and like just rap in general right now, because they like come with it on every track. Like especially Fuck It. Like Fuck It is like a lyrical genius. So like I feel like I have to outdo them. Like I don't like feeling like I'm falling behind, and I don't like feeling like anybody's. It's weird. Like some days I'm like super modest. I mean, I can say like I'm not scared to say that an artist is better than me. Like if I think an artist is better than me, then sure I'm gonna say that. But I like feeling like the best, and I'm like at the best. I'm at my prime. I'm doing the best of my ability as far as music. So like I talk my shit to whoever. Like I even talk my shit to like people in my collective. Like I'll tell Fuck It, I'll tell Zodi, I'm like I'm better than y'all. Like y'all better come with it this year because I'm coming with it. Like I like to challenge them. Like they're like, yeah, those are my brothers. So if I'm going hard, like I want them going hard. Like nobody needs to be lacking. Like it's like boot camp type shit. Like everybody, it's like mental boot camp. Like everybody's like, fuck, damn, he just snapped. Now I gotta snap. And then he snaps. You like, shit, he snapped. Now I gotta snap even more. And through that mentality, like everybody's like doing the best. Like there's no half-assing, half-stepping. Like everybody's bringing it 100%, and we're putting out some hard shit. And we're getting the looks. Like people are listening, and they're like, fuck, like these dudes are really about this shit. And that's what you want for your brand. Like that's the impression that you want to give people. And at the same time, as much shit as I talk and as narcissistic as I can be, at times, like, I still want to communicate with fans. Like, I notice a lot of artists these days, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like the artists that have a huge fan base, for some reason, they just like to be mysterious and mute. And I mean, there's nothing too wrong with that, but I feel like fans appreciate it more when you talk to them. So, like, I try to talk to people. Like, sometimes I just don't feel like talking to people. I'll straight up ignore people like an asshole. I am an asshole. Like, I can admit that sometimes. But, like, a lot of times I try to talk to people, like even if it's the smallest shit. It depends on the question. Sometimes people just ask me really dumb questions. Like they'll DM me and be like, uh, why don't you like collab with X? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And they'll just ask me like questions and I'm just thinking to myself, like, you don't have anything better to do. Like go read a book. Like, come on now. Like why are you asking me like weird ass shit? And they'll ask me like odd hours of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, you're awake and you're like, why don't you like this person? And I'm like, fam, go to sleep. Like, go do something. Like, why are you asking me weird ass questions? But yeah, I mean, overall, it is what it is. It's just how it works, I guess.
So, what would you say is the best song you think you've ever made?
Hmm. I feel like this answer changes every time someone asks me. I feel like it's between. I never give one song. It has to be between like three. So I think it's between. I think like as far as like my favorite songs, "Fuck They Gonna Do" is dope because I love that beat. Like that song was fun as hell to make. "Fuck They Gonna Do," I guess "To Kill a Wolf," and then maybe "Restraints." Yeah, I think those are my favorites right now that I've ever made. "Restraints," "Fuck They Gonna Do," and "To Kill a Wolf." "To Kill a Wolf" is just like hard hitting. Like I was like, we're joking around on that track, but like it's hard hitting. Like I've performed it live for the first time like a couple months ago in my city. That was like the first legit show I had in my city, and people loved that shit. Like they lost their minds. So it was dope. Like I really like that. So yeah, I'd say it's between those three tracks. And then maybe "Someone Protects Her" because that song was like really deep. That's probably like the deepest song I've ever made. And still to this day, sometimes I listen to them like, how the fuck did I even think of that? Like nowadays, like I guess my songs can be deep, but I don't think anything's like been as deep as that or will go as deep as that like ever again. But yeah, I'd say those three in general are just the ones I'm like most proud of.
So, have you got any projects planned for the near future?
Um, right now, I think last Friday it was. I got a bunch of Oogie Mane and like Filthy and Forza beats, and I had a lot of fun with those. Like I have like 7 songs on private on my SoundCloud. I like literally turned into a machine on Friday, and I just recorded over like beat after beat after beat. And then Johnny G, he sent me some more Oogie and like Forza beats, and I recorded on those. So kind of now we're just gonna have like most likely an impromptu project between me and Johnny G. And then as far as my latest track, "Pain, Pulse, and Energy," that's like one of the first singles off this fucking long overdue EP. It's a collab EP between me and Dutchy, the the producer behind all my hits, my backbone pretty much. But yeah, me and he sent me like I think like six beats, 6 or 7 beats, and that's like one of them. That was like the first I recorded over. So I'm gonna try to. I'm kind of like doing shit so like out of order right now. Like I'm doing other shit. Like I'm working on 2 EPs simultaneously, kind of. But I'm trying to drop the Dutch EP first, and then the one with all the Oogie beats. I'm gonna just have that as like the summer turn up EP. Like the Dutch EP is the hard shit. It's like all the angry Kamiyada, the shit everybody loves. The shit everybody expects, I guess, from me. And then the Oogie Man shit is some different shit, some more trap Kami. Some more turn up, bump this shit with all the windows down in the summer and make your neighbors angry type shit. Like just turn up. So yeah, pretty much those. I think the EP. Oh, the EP is going to be called "Pain, Pulse, and Energy." Actually, like I just made that for that particular song, but then I was like, it would be dope if we named the whole EP "Pain, Pulse, and Energy." So yeah, it's gonna be an EP by Dutch and myself, and that should drop hopefully before my LA show, because we're trying to make this an annual thing. I did my first show ever last year in LA, and it was fucking dope as hell. I love LA to death. It was the funnest shit ever. So we're doing another one. We're calling it Midnight Fest, but we're doing it in August 4th. So I'm hoping to have that EP dropped before then. Like, I'm like not working right now, so I have a lot more time. Like the past few months, I've only been able to record one day out of the week. So I have like endless days now to record. So I should get it done in time. So yeah, that should be the next thing that comes down the pipeline.
So, another off-topic question, but what would you say your favorite games are?
Favorite games. Shit. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna take it back old school. Let's see. Like PS2 was the first system I ever got, and the first game I had on it was 007 Agent Under Fire, and that game was the shit. Like I love that game so much. I had that in this drag racing game that was fucking terrible, and I didn't know how to play it. But Agent Under Fire was dope. Then I got a PS3. Call of Duty 4 was hard. I have Modern Warfare Remastered, so I be playing that shit. I be fucking people up. Like, I felt like, honestly, it's weird because for a while I thought I was going to become like a pro gamer. Like, literally, I want to say my ninth grade year of high school. Like, all I looked forward to during the summer was Call of Duty. Like, we had a big ass clan. We had like 60 people, and we were really good at the game. And like, we just played Call of Duty day in and day out. And then I don't know. I think one day I just woke up and was like, I think once I got a car, that's what happened. Once I got a car and I had a license and I could drive and I could leave my house, I was like, yeah, this isn't the life I want to live. Like, I don't want to play Call of Duty forever. I still love Call of Duty, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same love I had back then. Like, it doesn't do as much. Probably also because they played that shit out. Like, Call of Duty's low key washed as fuck. Like, they fucking raped that game like dry. Like, they took everything out of it. Like, not even take everything out of it. They just overused the same concept. Like, it's just like, come on. Like, I still buy it like a fucking idiot because, you know, I'm a loyal Call of Duty fan, sorta. But yeah, like they kind of just washed it. But as far as that go, Call of Duty, I'm actually like on my PS4 right now, so let's scroll through this shit. For Honor is fire. I haven't played that shit in a while. Battlefield 1 was dope. Resident Evil was scary as fuck. Anybody that didn't get Resident Evil 7, buy that shit. That shit's fire. Rainbow Six Siege is dope. The Division, they kind of fucked it, but they kind of redeemed themselves, so that's also pretty cool. And Max Payne. Max Payne was dope as hell. That's one of my favorite game series of all time. Max Payne was the shit. Like, I low-key want to make a song dedicated to Max Payne because that nigga was hard. And then I've been playing PUBG and DayZ. I kind of like stopped playing DayZ recently because I like played it and some dumb shit happened and I was like, fuck this game. And then I bought PUBG recently, and literally last night, like, me and Dutch and Virus were like streaming PUBG. That shit is fucking fun. It's addicting as hell. Like, I played it, I think, like all day yesterday with Dutch. So yeah, that shit is fire. Anybody that doesn't, PUBG is short for Players Unknown Battlegrounds. I have a seizure like every time I try to say that name. Like, it's the weirdest name for any game, but that shit is hard. I recommend anybody buy that shit. It's fire. It's $30, but it's worth it, and it's like better than fucking outdated broken ass DayZ. But yeah, that shit's dope.
So, within the next year, where do you think you will have progressed with your music?
I'm hoping to be like on some serious shit, yo. Like, as far as this past year to where I am now, we did this all in 1 year, and that's remarkable. Like, when I tell people we did this shit in 1 year, they're so fucking shocked. Like, we legitimately did this in 1 year. Like, not even like on no flexion shit. Like, some of these rappers be like, I just started rapping a year ago. Like, fuck no. Like, nobody started rapping a year ago. Like, niggas be lying so hard. Like, there's no need to lie. I started rapping in like 2014. And I was just like, there's a grace period where you start rapping and you find yourself. I don't care what anybody says. There's nobody that started rapping in one fucking year and blew up the next. Like that's not how it works. Like there's so much that goes into like rapping and just hip hop as a whole. Like you have to find your voice, you have to educate yourself. Unless you want to be like Lil Pump. Lil Pump goes hard, but that nigga raps like a toddler. Like his music is hard as shit. I fuck with it, but like he raps like a toddler. So I mean, if you can get away with it, like if you can just make unintelligible bangers, then do that shit. But if you're like really trying to be like on some big boy shit, and I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna go in, like it takes help. Like me personally, I have ADHD, so I hate reading books. Like I get distracted very easily. So the way I learned to expand my vocabulary was through watching movies. So I watch like some really crazy fucking movies and they'll say some crazy ass words and I'll be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I'll find that word and I'm like, wow, like I'm gonna add that to my vocabulary now. I'm smart. So yeah, like it's just like stuff like that. You gotta find ways to work within your means. Like I think it was like Ab Soul who said he used to read the dictionary, and that's how he got his bars up so heavy. Like he'd read the dictionary, and I know other rappers do that too. Like they just read the dictionary. I mean, shout out to them. You never catch me reading a fucking dictionary for more than 10 seconds before getting bored or like staring off at like a bird or something. But yeah, like as far as that goes, like it takes time. Like it took me time to find the voice, find my voice, and like my rap voice, like my lyrics, become, an artist of my own. So it takes time. So like I'm hoping within the next year, like it feels crazy. Like you never really notice how fast things are moving. Like that's how it is right now for me personally. Like last year things were moving quickly and I knew that by the numbers. But then there's also shit going on in the background that you have pretty much no way of knowing is happening. Like there's people like low key that could be passing your name around to whoever. Like you don't know who's listening to you, like who has their eyes on you, who's watching, like who's waiting, whoever. Like literally it's wild. Like me personally, I'm a believer in the laws of attraction. And behind that shit, it deals heavy with like manifestation of what you want. Not as much as like confidence, but more so like I want this. I'm gonna live life. I'm gonna live it like I got it. I'm gonna wait till it gets there. I'm gonna be positive about it, and it'll get to me. And pretty much, literally everything I manifested within the year has literally happened. Like, for example, I remember they dropped that Pigeon. I think Pigeons and Planes dropped it. They dropped that list where it was like rappers that make your ears bleed. And it was like Syringe, Eric North, Ski Mask, Triple X. And I was like super in my feelings, pissed off that they didn't put me on that list. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was jealous as fuck. Like I was salty. I was completely salty. So I was like, bruh, like what? And then I was just mad as hell. Like I was in my group chat talking big shit. I was like, bruh, I love Ski Mask to death. He's like a dope ass rapper. He's one of my favorite rappers. But that nigga does not make music that makes your ears bleed. Like, that nigga doesn't scream or anything. Like, his music is just hard. But, yeah, I was just like, what the hell? And then, literally, went from being salty, and then one day, Pigeons and Planes, like, follow me. And then, like, a month later, they were like, we want to do an interview. And then, next thing you know, like, I'm, like, on their list. Like, I was on their list, and then I ended up on, like, a new rappers that make your ears bleed list for Elevator magazine. So like that shit happened. Like things that just I wanted to happen, manifest, like it happened. Like I wanted to travel, I wanted to do things, and it all started happening. So I mean, it feels like I said, it feels like you don't really feel yourself moving, but you're moving. So I'm just hoping that like by fucking next year, like we're really on some shit, cause I'm trying to be. I need some money. Like I love music, but I need stability, and that's what I need the most. Like if I can get that stability that I need, then life will be the best shit ever. Like I'd love to travel. I want to go perform in fucking Berlin. I want to go perform everywhere. I want to go meet people. I want to be on planes and not breaking my pocket to get flights and shit. Like I want to be on some shit like that. Like that's the dream right now. And I just don't want it to be me. Like anything that happens, like I want it to be like my whole team because it's like family to me. Like niggas piss me off and some niggas are expendable. Like that's just how it goes with this music shit. But a lot of them are like family to me. And whenever I get, chances to do shit, I like to include everybody, like not just me. Like if somebody's like, I want to do an interview or an article, like I make sure that I'm shouting out like, my gang. Like I'm letting everybody know like, yeah, you think I'm cool, but this dude's fire too. Like go listen to them. Like I want everybody to shine. Like, cause that one man band shit is how shit falls apart. And when everybody's shining, everybody's getting the light they need. It's probably never going to be equal. Like that's just how it works. Nothing's ever like equal. Not everybody's going to get the same amount of shine. But it's good to at least get the light out there until so everybody's at least moving. Nobody's falling behind. So I'm just hoping, like I said, next year we're on some shit. Like we made big moves this year. We made plays. So I'm trying to make some more plays going into 2018. I don't know what it's going to be like by the end of this year, but end of last year was crazy. So I'm hoping the same for this one.
If you could collab with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Okay, so I definitely collab with Kurt Cobain or Lane Staley. Those are my idols. Those are like, them niggas are crazy. Like, just their stage presence was amazing. And they're both amazing artists, rest their souls. I love to collab with Syringe. Like, me and Syringe had a song together, but it was like, like, it's a hard song, but it wasn't like a serious collab. Like, I love to do like a legitimate collab with Syringe. Like, shit would be dope. Like, one where we just really just going off on the track. Like, I would love that shit. Who else? Let me see. A Bones or Xavier Wolf collab would be fucking crazy. Like, I've been listening to them forever. So, if I could ever collab with them, that'd be a milestone for real. Like, I just more so like not even just because they like, oh, I collab with Bones or Xavier Wolf. Like, no, just because like these dudes are dudes that influence me. And they kept it 100. Like a lot of these dudes, like the Instagram, I almost said the Instagram. The underground is becoming, mainstream. Like the mainstream is paying attention to the underground now. And they weren't doing that really in the time of Bones and Chris Travis and Xavier Wolf and Spooky Black, Bobby Raps, all them. Like, really, now this year is like when the underground is becoming mainstream. Like, literally, they're snatching artists out of the underground, like giving them deals and shit and putting them and making them mainstream. So the thing is, like, if I were to collab with one of them, that'd be crazy as a milestone to say, like, wow, I went from listening to this artist and now I'm making music with them. And I've already had things like that. Like, for example, like KP. Remember I had like 200 followers and I was listening to KP. Like, I was watching his music videos and shit on YouTube. And now me and him are like fucking close ass friends. And like, we're like planning on making a bunch of music together. And every time we all fly out, like, we're all in the same place. Like, niggas, like, even he said it himself, like, you came up quick. Like, people tell me all the time I came up quick. And that's a fucking blessing, because it's just like, I really went from like observing everybody and now I'm like somewhere and I'm someone. So that's dope.
So, just before we end off this interview, do you want to shout anyone out?
Alright, gang shit. Shout out Midnight Society. I'm gonna shout out Young Bambo, Go Rambo, Young Bambi. Shout out the Fuckster, Fuck It, Kreslik, Dutchman, the disease and the vaccine, the virus. Who else am I missing? I'm gonna shout out Brando from the Bando, Sabino. Too Late Now, he made some dope M&S iPhone screens. Shit. Shout out Ghosty, shout out Syringe, shout out Weird Clan, gang. We had fun with them in South by Southwest. Shout out Maxwell. Shout out Dank Sinatra, Foreign Forest. Who am I missing? Young Zila, Johnny G. Original Guide. Shit. I'm trying not to forget somebody, because if I forget somebody, I'm like, boy, you ain't shout me out, bro. What the fuck? Like, so yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Fuck. Shout out Skrilla. Shout out Kel. I mean, for real, if I talked about you in this interview, that's a shout out enough. So yeah. Yeah, like, shout out gang. Like, shout out all of them. Yeah, and shout out whoever I'm working with. Like, I'm about to have some shit with like Drown Millie and Cameron Nazi and some other like upcoming trap metal artists and shit that are like doing stuff. So yeah, shout out them. Anybody else? Yeah, that's all I can think. Oh, shout out Sake. That's the boy. Anytime I go somewhere, like, this nigga gives me a place to sleep. Like, he's like a dope ass. He just made like a dope ass remix of Birth of the Space God, and that's about to drop soon. So that's gonna be fire as fuck. And yeah, shout out the boys, shout out the team, shout out the gang. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Just Midnight Society in general, Crow Life, Weird Clan, and yeah, whoever else rocking with me, whoever the fans, the support, anybody making AMVs, Kamiyada type beats, commenting on my shit, showing love, likes, everything. Anybody showing love in general, I fucking love you, and I appreciate that shit to the death of me. And there will be Midnight Society merch very soon. Everybody's been asking me and bugging me. I'm trying to get Keenan to make it. I'm gonna just beat his ass until he makes it, and yeah, it'll happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Kamiyada, gang gang.
Yeah.